You didn't want to show up today. Introvert you was like, let's keep scrolling. Let's have another chomps. Let's make more. Tonight you finally did it. You made popcorn, butter popcorn with chocolate chips, and it did not disappoint. And we want to brush our teeth. Our glasses are still lost from like fumbling and bumbling around in the dark in the bed, breastfeeding like 3 or 4 nights ago. So we're still in our context. But you're showing up, day one mentality. It's you, you're showing up. I'm so proud of that. And, you know, I think you've been in mombie status, mom zombie, for 8 years, but you thrive there and you wanted this, like you chose this, you get to. Um, and I also don't want to have the toxic like positivity that's like, oh, I get to like power through this. I get to be so tired all the time. Like, well, I am preserving like that slice of um, self-care sanity that I require at night right now. Um, but like my mommy status is like rooted in FOMO. I love spending time with them. When JD, my toxic trait is like when JD asks, or not asks, but like tries to start coming up with um ideas on like maybe how he can like take them out for a walk or go to the pool or something like that. I'm always like, no, I'm coming. Or I don't want to miss out on that. Or um, but I am more and more stepping up opportunities to come in here and do like a little bit of creating in a pocket of time or take a nap, like a nap is productive. For me, quote, doing nothing, like taking a shower is productive. So I want to, it's kind of like piggybacking on the Mom Olympics that I was talking about in my mom base status, coming in here. Um, I don't know how many days I've been doing it because I'm on a day one mentality, which is really working for me instead of having this like running list of, oh, you're on day number 10 of like 100 or something like that. Like, let's get to the finish line. This day one mentality for me is like, there is no finish line. It's day one every day, not Groundhog Day, because I choose to be in this, but that freshness, that like, that New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, day one, January 1, like mentality. And I'm just bringing that freshly into every day. That this is day one, every day, because it is. Um, and my mommy status started when it started before I even had her, Camden, over 8 years ago. It started when I carried that little mermaid gymnast in her spa appointment for 9 months, like to the hospital, worked 28-hour shifts with her, plenty of overnight calls. Um, and I cherished feeling her moving around in there and like getting to bring her to work, like bring my daughter to work every day. And I already had started the grieving process, the mourning process of what would it be like to be separated, and how would I do that? How would I possibly say goodbye and leave her every day? And I struggled. The trauma of that, I'm still calibrating to that and giving voice to that and giving space to that and stepping into like the dissociation that I had to do to like survive that chapter. And I loved taking care of children, you know, critically ill children. I'm so gifted at it. Medicine, doctoring. It's part of my DNA, healing. Um, but having to leave my baby to go do that, and not just to leave her for like small, short periods of time, but big, formative milestones happening and to have to pump not once, twice, but like 4 or 5 times because I was gone for 12, 14, sometimes 24 or 28 hours. Never did I want to do it. And my mom B status started, I worked 90-hour weeks, like, even though we're never supposed to say that we worked over 70 or 80, like, and I would wake up a half an hour early just to stare at her sleeping, just to spend time with her, just to not have to feel that urgency, that rush. And it hurts then and it hurts now. And to revisit it, we are beautifully bonded, and I don't need to convince anyone of that or convince myself of that. I live in a space where I don't convince anyone of anything ever again. But I knew with every fiber of who I am, with every cell of my DNA, that when I was holding her in those nights and I got to be in that sacred space of her trusting me as she drifted off into her dreams, that my non-negotiable, my why, I wasn't going to miss that. And so as I graduated from, I mean, it goes back more than that, but I pursued like the hard path in high school with international baccalaureate, and then I got a neuroscience degree from Miami while playing Division I sports, and then I pursued in pre-med and all of that, all the prerequisites, and then I pursued post-bac classes to strengthen my application. I put myself through a master's program for 2.5 years in mental health counseling with certificates in play therapy and mental and marriage and family therapy. I also completed all but like a master's degree in healthcare administration, the business aspect of medicine, and I completed everything but the last practicum or whatever, the like your internship essentially, because I was in medical school by that time. And I also completed a good amount of coursework in lifestyle medicine before they discontinued the program. I was a graduate assistant doing research, all while working at a restaurant and coaching soccer. And then there was 4 years of medical school and 3 years of pediatric residency and an additional year of sports medicine fellowship. All of that culminated in, the path to a career in clinical medicine. And that experience, I'm going to speak to that in more detail, my pivot out of clinical medicine and why and how it transpired. But here in this Mombie status, I'm back in my mind right now, walking, pacing, lovingly singing, and I would do like X's around her, this like black and white IKEA carpet that we had in our little tiny little plantation Hawaiian bungalow, the little yellow house with the white picket fence on Leahi Street in Honolulu, right at the base of Diamond Head, where we could hear the zoo animals and hear the concerts from the Shell and hear the surf when it was big, and holding her as she drifted off to sleep and knowing that the ask of my new clinical role was you're going to work on nights, weekends, and holidays on repeat. And the schedule that we have for you as the only physician who's going to run this urgent care, as prestigious as it is, because we're giving you this role, is that it would prevent me from being there at bedtimes. And I knew with every fiber of who I was that um, it went against, it was a no. It was a no from every part of my body. Was this the end? Was this everything we worked for? And I was scared too. Like the hardcore in me, which is also a beautiful part of me, she is capable of like putting the blinders on, like tell me how high to jump, how fast do I need to run, what are the times I need to do to complete this fitness test, how she's crying now, my second female fierce female, what do I need to do to get this done? And I was scared if I put on those blinders, if I say yes to this job, like will I blink and will she be, in kindergarten and then in fifth grade and then graduate high school, like I don't want to miss this. I won't miss this. Um, and so it was easy to say no. I remember walking out into the sunshine that September day. So now it's been 6 years. 6 years that I pivoted. 6 years of being a mommy. 8 years, because she's 8. Yeah, the math, 6 to 8 years. But and I'm still that, like, so I still every single night celebrate that I'm with them. Like, I'm not the mom that like walks out of the room and turns off the lights. And no, no, this is not a shame game. I do not subscribe to that channel. That I don't, I don't do that. But for me, I love that. Like, I'm still in the bedtimes with them, like in that sacred space where they go off and they download all these things to me. Tonight, Cruz was fully crying. He's like such a tender heart. Like, he loves me so deeply, so ferociously. So they all do, which I is so is everything. Like, it's every warmth I ever needed. It's everything, every adornment I ever needed. Um, but he was scared, saying like, what if I go to jail and like we're separated? And this was like a real valid fear that he had coming out. And I could feel it in his body, like the fear and the trembling and like the silent tears and just the despair of it. Um, and I remember having real fears at his age too. Like, so I know he's like a deeply feeling kid and just his empathic side. And I love that. And I resonate so much with him. And he is my inspiration. And I'm going to speak more to that too. And Camden, my transformer, and just now that she transformed me and she still transforms me, and she can pull these all-nighters. She's got the energy that, like, we are literally like from the same fabric of that. And I think Cord is that too. She's up again now, like these nocturnal night owls. But I get to feed her, nurse her. I get to meet her in these late night hours, like instead of, oh, they're crying again. Like, it's helped me so much. Almost similar to being in the delivery room and anticipating and smiling with the contractions to come. Like, when she cries out, like right now, I have a healthy, vibrant 14-month-old. Instead of being like, what am I doing wrong about sleep? When am I going to ever sleep again? Like, JD like is getting the sleep, but I'm not. I get to respond to them. I am the one chosen for this. I am the one that can meet their needs. I get to meet their needs. And so, yes, I get to be a mom bee. Um, yes, sleep eludes me. Yes, I'm in here choosing to like record and speak to this and tell my story and like get this out, because um it's flying by faster than I ever could have imagined. But I'm also in the moments. Like, I, when people say, or there's like the sayings, and again, like, I'm so into dropping all the narratives, but um don't blink. Like, I'm not blinking. I am blinking physiologically, but I'm in these moments, and I can believe that it's been 8 years, because it's been so much transformation. 8 years of Camden, 5 years of being inspired by Cruz, and 14 months of being healed and with Cord. And all of it contributes to me being a mom bee, and I'm good with it. Like, bring it on. I choose it. I'm choosing it. And so there's so much surrender happening in me. And I like that September day that I walked out of the hospital having declined that position. That was a pivotal moment in my life. And I've never looked back, and I've never, I mean, I was for sure a mom bee based on the hospital schedule, but then I was like a chosen mom bee in my own home. And like, even as I continue to build my businesses and write and coach and show up now as like a teacher for my children, and been breastfeeding for 5 years, like, I am thriving in being a mommy. I'm not surviving. I'm not like barely scraping by or needing to chug coffee. And again, also nothing wrong with coffee. I haven't had coffee for 8 years. I stopped drinking it when I was high pregnant with Canada, because I was on night shift and not having like one cup of coffee, but just like all the coffee from the doctor's lounge. And so I am nourishing myself through my mindset through movement as medicine, through gratitude, through prayer, through spiritual grounding, through being connected in nature, and through the vibrancy of these amazing humans that have been entrusted to my care. And so for me, that's what a mombi looks like. And it looks really good on me. And I'm good with it. And I love it. Mombi out.